Want to be sure you are getting the most out of your retirement? For all the years of your retirement? That's the primary goal of More Living with Jim Brogan and our Dollars and Cents segment, where we provide you with an important financial tip that will help positively impact the quality of your life in retirement. And now, here's Jim with this week's Dollars and Cents tip.
Year-end tax planning. I think of all of the things that you can be doing this time of year with your financial plan. I think tax planning moving as we close out 2025 and headed into 2026 is as important as anything. When you look at our tax system, what do you see in the future? I know we just passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which made the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, many of those brackets and tax rates permanent, but how permanent? Only permanent in the sense that Congress can be permanent. They can change the law at any time. When we look at the future challenges we face 10 years from now, we know Social Security, the trust fund's going to run out of money here in about 8 years. The unfunded liabilities for Medicare, prescription drugs, those things are just off the charts, healthcare costs. And so, we already have roughly almost $38 trillion in debt. We have close to $100 trillion of additional unfunded liabilities expected in the future. So what can we expect with the future of tax rates? I think it's very, very likely taxes 10 years from now will be much higher than they are now. We have a math issue with the debt and with government spending. The economy's just not growing fast enough to keep up with the debt and the interest on the debt and all those things. There's different ways to solve that problem, but I think tax increases usually are the first thing a government does. And if we look at historically where we've been with tax rates, we're in a pretty low tax environment today for federal income tax. So, tax planning, this is the time we should be really sharpening our pencils. What we do every year in March and April and maybe even in February is not tax planning, that's tax preparation. There's really not a lot you can do to change your tax bill for 2025. If you took if in September you took a big distribution from your IRA to pay for something, that's a taxable distribution. You cannot undo it when you get to March or April. So tax planning is much more powerful than tax preparation. That's looking forward to the future and being intentional about our taxes. And the great news is when you're retired, you typically have more control of your income taxes than at any other time in your life because you don't have earned income. You determine where and how to take income from your investments and how those things may be taxed or not taxed. You determine when you will draw Social Security if you're still in your 60s, and that also affects the numbers on your tax return. And while the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, while it was promised that a lot of discussion that it would eliminate taxes on Social Security income, the reality is that did not happen. They added the extra senior deduction. If you're 65 or older, you get an extra $6,000 per person on the standard deduction, and that was meant to offset Social Security taxation for most Social Security beneficiaries, but it didn't actually remove the tax. And in 4 years, that extra $6,000 deduction goes away. But the bottom line is when you decide to draw Social Security, certainly is going to have an impact on your tax return. So there's a lot of things you can do. How do you invest money in your non-retirement accounts? Because every single interest payment, dividend distribution, if you own mutual funds, capital gain distributions, all of those things you get a 1099 on and you have to pay tax on. So now is the time of year we can really look at positioning ourselves for 2026. We can also be making our year-end charitable contributions to great organizations like Second Harvest. Gifting stock, highly appreciated stock, is a great way to make an even greater tax benefit for you, and then therefore make your gift to organizations like Second Harvest even more powerful, because the power of giving something that you haven't paid all the taxes on. You know, if you have appreciated stock, then you can give it to an organization like Second Harvest without paying the capital gains tax. And so anytime you can gift something that you've not paid tax on, likewise qualified charitable distributions from IRAs if you're over 70 and a half. So this is the time of year to look at things like that, contributions to your 401k, and also structuring things for going into 2026 as we move forward. Managing your tax bill, in my view, is going to become more and more critical as we move forward in today's age in your financial plan.
That's our Dollars and Cents segment for this week. You can find this week's Dollars and Cents segment and others by visiting BroganFinancial.com.